What is going on, guys? Johnny on the track, back for the final best bets and drivers to watch for the 2022 NASCAR um, playoffs and season. This is the final episode. This is the final race. We will have a champion crowned this Sunday night. It should be exciting. It should be a great race. Martinsville was just an all-time classic. You'll be watching that finish for the rest of your life. We all know the move that Chastain pulled. The coolest thing I've ever seen in a car, in a NASCAR race. One of the coolest things in sports. I mean, it's gotten, I think the original video that NASCAR and NBC put out is up over 10 million views. So it just shows you like how crazy of a move, not just we as NASCAR fans saw that, but just everybody really. People that know nothing about NASCAR were just like, wow, that's, how did he do that? Like that's crazy. And it really was. And of course, Christopher Bell pulling a rabbit out of a hat to win that thing. I was super high on Bell. We won with Bell, which was awesome because we were in a tough little bit of a losing streak there for however many races now. So it was good to get one with Bell, a guy I said on this show, I believe in so much. I really, really believed in Christopher Bell that he would make it to this spot. When I filled out my bracket, I looked at it and I said, I think Bell can go all the way. I think he can easily make it to the championship four. And although it wasn't an easy road for Christopher Bell, he showed why I felt so strongly about him making it here. I think from start to finish, he was the best and still is right now the best Joe Gibbs racer that, is at Joe Gibbs Racing. Truex struggled, had a down season. Hamlin, not consistent enough. And Christopher Bell, wins were there, consistency was there, and the dude is clutch and young. He is a stud. He will be around for a while. So that was awesome to get back in the win column. And a guy that's real. I'm doing I'm putting together on the Twitter account at JOTT_podcast. Give me a follow. I am putting together like the guys that have made me the most money. And I think Christopher Bell is one or two on that list. He's given us some big paydays. If you look back on what we've won this season. So, just wanted to shout out everybody. Thanks for watching this season. I really appreciate it. Started this like probably a quarter way of the way into the NASCAR season. And it took off. We had some great wins. NASCAR sticks out. Kansas sticks out. The back-to-back Harvick wins. I was one of the only people that called that. That sticks out. Obviously, Bell getting that walk-off win. The Reddick Road Course wins. We had a great season. We had a really good season, up over around 100 units if you've been watching this show. So you cannot complain about that. And, now we just have to look ahead to Sunday and do all that we can to finish out on top. I'll put it out there. I'm feeling pretty good. Not just from what I'm seeing betting wise in terms of this race, but I had a bet for Chastain that I put in May accidentally to win the championship. That bet is still valid. As soon as Christopher Bell won the race on Sunday, I put a bet in for Bell to win the championship. I got him at like plus 550 or plus 600. It's just insane. He had the lowest odds, even though he had just won the race. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, of course, give me Bell. I think he's down to like plus 300, something like that now. Had a bet on Logano when the playoffs started, plus 1,000 to win the championship. Again, just crazy numbers. Everybody and their mother was on Chase Elliott at the start of this championship. Logano was my champion when I made this bracket. Still feels very, very highly in him. So Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. I feel like at this point, no matter really what happens, I'll be making money. But now the goal is to help you guys make money. So let's get into it. Um, Cup Championship at Phoenix on Sunday. The number one bet that I want everybody to take, and you must take that bet now. It is not Chase Elliott. It is not Christopher Bell. It is not Ross Chastain. It is not who I have as champion, Joey Logano. It is Kyle Larson plus 1,500 to win. You take that bet. That is on DraftKings. Take it as soon as you watch this video. No, he's not competing for a driver's championship. He is competing for the owner's championship. And he has said after he won 2 weeks ago how much this still means to him. Even though he is out as a driver to win the championship, he is still very well in it to win at Phoenix and get Rick Hendrick an owner's championship. So he's going to race this race, to win, because the scenario that I think Rick Hendrick would want is Larson comes in first and Elliott comes in second. Larson wins the race. They win the owner's championship. And then you also have Elliott winning the driver's championship. You have two champions. So I think that is what Hendrick wants. And I just, you have to take that number plus 1,500. That is insanity. The four playoff drivers have the best odds. Plus 230, plus 300, plus 400, plus 400 are Elliott plus 230, Bell plus 3, Logano plus 4, Chastain plus 4. And then the jump is to Larson at plus 1,500. That is insane. You have to take that right now. And you got to put a good chunk on it. You put $100, you win 1,500. And I think there's a very, very good shot that Kyle Larson could pull this one out. Now, I will say, when you look at the Phoenix race earlier this season, Hendrick did not have a car in the top 10. So that is something to make note. At the same time, these four drivers, including Elliott, who finished, I think he finished the highest of the Hendrick cars that day. He finished 11th. But these four guys have been the cream of the crop on short, flat tracks. Logano won the Clash. Logano won Gateway. Bell won New Hampshire. Bell won Martinsville. Elliott ran very well at New Hampshire. Could have possibly won if not for Bell. Ran very well at both the Richmond races. Chastain came in second at Phoenix earlier this year. Great finishes at Gateway and New Hampshire. So these guys, like I said, are the cream of the crop when it comes to short, flat tracks. Even just Elliott dominated a lot of Martinsville. Couldn't end up winning, but had a really good car, really fast car. A couple things go his way. Maybe he wins. So I am ranking these guys from 1 to 4. That's how I'm going to do this, because I do think my advice to you is wait until practice and qualifying to place your race bets. And I would say any of these four that qualifies in the back and their odds shift to, let's say, 600-700 to win the race, put your money on it. You have to. I am fading Elliott. I'm fading Elliott. Okay, let me go back. Let's rank the drivers 1 to 4 of just my confidence in them. So 1, I have Logano. I like Logano to win the race. Ford was very strong here earlier this year. And if you just look at the pool of drivers, Logano is the most experienced. He's a champion. So is Elliott, but Logano is the most experienced. You're looking at Bell and Chastain, two guys that have never made it to this situation before. And it hasn't been unheard of, because Elliott, first time in the championship 4, he wins. And I think it was the same with Larson last year. But I mean, Chastain, this is the first time he ever made the playoffs, and Bell hasn't ever made it out of the round of 12. So you got to look at that, right? So Logano is 1 to me. I think he's going to win. He's just been consistent on every single type of racetrack we have been this year. It seems like it's Logano's year to get his second Cup championship. At the beginning of the playoffs, I thought it was going to be Logano here at the end of it, so I got to stick to my gut. That's what I did last week with Bell, and it won me the money. So I'm going to go with Logano to win this thing. He's my number 1. My number 2 is Bell, and I just think it's because of the track. I mentioned New Hampshire. mentioned a flat track in Martinsville. Christopher Bell has been very, very, very good at these type of tracks. And he's hot. I mean, he's probably the hottest driver in the playoffs. 2 walk-off wins to advance to the next round. It would be unheard of to do 3, but it just seems like that 20 team has clicked at the right time. So Bell is my 2. My 3 is not Chastain, even though I'm fading Elliott. I still think he's probably your 3 just because of the experience. He is a champion. He's a guy that, continues at this point to make it to this spot, meaning the championship 4. I don't love the track. I don't think the track suits him very well, at least in the next gen car. So, I don't love Elliott here. I'm going to fade him and instead go with Larson. But I don't think, if you want to bet on Elliott, and especially if he doesn't qualify well, I would rank him 3rd, and then I would rank Chastain 4th. Yes, he was good at Phoenix here in the, what was that? The spring, I think. Yeah, probably the spring. He was good at Phoenix, good at New Hampshire, good at Gateway. But guys, we have to be honest with Chastain, and I love Chastain. I'm a very big Chastain fan. We have to be honest with him. The only 2 races that he has won all season, guys, is a super speedway and a road course. So, I mean, we have to call a spade a spade. I mean, like, the only 2 wins, let me repeat that. The only 2 wins he's had this whole season are at a super speedway and a road course. And that'll be pretty fitting after all that and the move he pulled if he were to win at Phoenix. But I mean, I don't know. Like, it just doesn't seem, and especially like a lot of the guys he's pissed off across over the course of the year. Like, I don't know. I'm very, very happy for Chastain that he made it this far. But I think his moment of shine happened after that. This week, basically, he's getting his moment of shine. I don't think it's all going to click for Ross Chastain. So the guys I am looking at are Logano and Bell. Now, the good thing is I placed a bet on Chastain, so I'm okay if it hits. But again, in the order, 1 Logano, 2 Bell. I would put actually 3 Larson if you want to throw him in there. 4 Elliott, 5 Chastain. So that's how I rank them. I would say fade 1, bet 4 of them, including Larson. So out of the 5, fade 1, bet 4, try to get the best odds that you can get for these guys. And I think it's going to come after qualifying and after practice. If Bell qualifies 25th, if Logano qualifies 17th, and then Elliott, let's say, is on the pole or something, like, the odds are going to shift mightily, and you got to take your chances at those guys. So, I do the final point I'll add here. I think one of these 5 guys, championship 4 or Larson, is going to win this race. Don't overthink this. I know, as much as the next gen car has been crazy, non-playoff guys winning in the playoffs has been crazy. Don't overthink this. I believe that one of these 5 guys is going to win this race. And, say whatever you want, but Larson really is kind of still in the playoffs. So he counts, for this list. So that's how I see this race going. And, the way I think my gut says that Logano does it. So that would be my advice to you. Put the big bet on Logano, but, go with your gut at this point. I think no matter how you play this, you can win money. Even if you probably could bet on all 5 and still win money. It's just it depends on who you are most confident in. I laid out in the order the guys that I'm most confident in. So that could be kind of how you allocate your money on each bet. So, take that for what it's worth. But I will say my gut was right about Christopher Bell, and I think it's going to be right this weekend about Joey Logano, and he will get his 2nd cut championship. Thanks again for everybody interacting, giving us the like, subscribing to watch these videos each week. They drop on Tuesdays. You guys knew the drill. I really appreciate it. We're going to continue this next year. And let's end on a high note. We just came off of a high. Let's keep on this high all the way to the Daytona 500. But like I said, thank you so much for interacting this season. I really appreciate it. Make sure if you are looking for last minute bets, Johnny on the Track on Action Network, for tweets as well at JOTT_podcast. We'll be doing some other sorts of content, just random NASCAR content leading back into the Daytona 500 and next season. So also be on the lookout for that. And then as always, tell me what you guys think in the comments. Always like to hear what you're thinking for these races. So give us a like, subscribe, and thank you all for making this a fun journey betting, my first real time like betting throughout the NASCAR season. So thanks, guys.